Where's Rob? Welcome to the Wednesday, get the right date here.
October 12th.
Thanks. October 12th, 2022, Planning Board meeting for the Town of Raymond. The board will come to order. We do have a quorum. We'll start with roll call. Mike?
Mike D'Arcangelo.
Greg Foster.
Robert O'Neill.
Mark Childs.
And from Zoom.
Evan Woodbury.
This is a public hearing, a public proceeding, unless the board specifically votes to go into executive session, you have the right to hear everything that is being said. And to look at all the exhibits that are presented, please notify the chair if you are unable to see or hear. The board works from a published agenda and will be considering tonight's items in the following order. We have a public hearing, site plan review for the Jordan Bay Marina, Port Harbor Marine. For old business, the first thing we have is our minutes from September 14th. And then for new minutes, a public hearing review of a commercial use in the RR zone and a sketch plan review from Diane Potvin. In each instance, the burden is upon the applicant to demonstrate compliance with the provisions of the applicable ordinances or state law. All persons speaking, including representatives of the applicant and members of the public, are asked to stand at the microphone, state their name, address, and affiliation with the application. All persons speaking shall address the chair. Any conversations must be held in abeyance until after the board has formally adjourned. After the board votes on the merits of each application, it will prepare a written notice of decision, because the notice of decision may substantially affect any appeals rights, and also as a matter of courtesy, the board asks that those attending the meeting with regards to a specific application not leave until the board has completed its discussion. Appeals from adverse decisions must be filed with the Superior Court or as otherwise provided by law within 45 days of this board's decision. Also, to be certain you preserve your individual rights to file such an appeal, you must be certain the board records evidences of your appearance this evening. Of this? I don't. Oh, we should have it memorized by now.
Just have questions about the appeals or whatever, but it's okay.
Oh, let me, you mean how to file an appeal?
And why, but.
Oh, you can file an appeal
And what is this?
45 days to Superior Court for any appeal from the final decision. Okay, the first order of business is the approval of the minutes for September 14th, 2022. Any changes, deletions? I think we're okay.
None.
Move to accept as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
All,
I was not here.
oh, that's right. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Right, thank you. And no opposed, and one abstention. Steve. Thanks, Mark.
Looks like people aren't having any luck getting on.
All right. Our next order of business is the public hearing for Jordan Bay Marina, Port Harbor Marine. Do we have people in the queue? Sandy, do you know?
Rob said he was trying to get in, but he was unsuccessful. He was getting meeting in progress.
Nothing showing for anybody waiting.
And Rachel Sarno was supposed to be on, I just texted her before I came, and Barry McKay.
Yeah, they're getting a weird message or something.
Bill and Kathy, too.
Bill and Kathy.
Okay, let's just, all right. Hey, Kevin.
Yes.
I'm being told that there are people trying to queue in to Zoom and are not able to do that. Do you know where the problem might be?
I got in through Zoom, but I did not find the current meeting. I actually had to go to the administrative interface to get the meeting and the key. So I'm not sure, Sandy, if you have that link. The link I found was, I didn't find the link to this meeting.
It was on the agendas when I sent out the agendas.
I didn't, I don't. Yeah.
Posted online somewhere under planning boards, you know, with the meeting, and you click on the month and the agenda comes up with the link.
So planning board, I'm going to there right now. Let's see, planning board. October. Okay, so planning board, October. I'm waiting for it. Yeah, okay, and there it is. Let me just, I'm pretty sure that's the correct one. So are they trying to get it that way, or?
Alex was having trouble too, that's why
Kevin, what do you have for a meeting ID?
Let's see. Well, it ends in T09. Oh, that's the password, never mind. The ID ends in 8308.
right.
Okay, and I have password 436517.
I have a password that's a lot longer than that, but it ends in QT09.
What are they supposed to do to get on there?
Okay, I don't have that one on my printed agenda.
Okay, I'm looking at the PDF that's out there.
See, she just said no one is letting me in.
Oh, well, do you see anybody waiting to be let in?
Yep, well, they're being told either meeting in progress or they're not letting people in. Is that, ma'am, is that what you're being told?
Mm-hmm.
Did she go to the link from the town's website?
I don't know what she did, but if you can tell me what to tell her to do,
Go to the town
go to,
and then go to the planning board.
to town,
Two of the other.
then,
No, it's 2 of those and a half of the
And
other.
then the agenda.
board, then,
Yeah, I talked to Rob, and he says all he's getting is a meeting in progress.
yeah, then agenda.
And then the second page of that agenda, there'll be the phone number and the contact and the ID to get in.
Well, you go to, yeah, you click on agenda, right, and then you go to where it says October, click on October. When you click on October, that brings you up a PDF which has the link in it.
Click on October.
And when they click on that, all they get is meeting in progress.
But we are in progress.
Click on it.
I know.
Right.
Oh, we get it.
Once it's in progress, you can't get in, go to second page. And then what?
And then you should, if it's working properly, link with that. The second page will have the directions on how to get in.
For,
But it sounds like it's not working.
It says the host has another meeting in progress.
It's possible that's not the right meeting link, I don't know. I mean, I don't, Sandy, I'm not
So-
sure. Like I said, I went.
Very sad.
Barry says, me neither, I see a woman in a white skirt and red top.
Oh. White skirt and red top.
Oh, wait. Looks like a Zoom promo,
I don't know.
different meeting. I'm getting that the
I
host
think there's
has
a different link.
the host has another meeting.
Huh.
But the video, I see a woman in a white skirt and red top, but the video is frozen.
Well, there is no white skirt and red top.
Okay,
I
so
don't know
the,
what to tell you, maybe she's watching cartoons, I mean.
My love.
so the okay, here's the meeting ID is
Taking another whole step.
851-9183-8949.
8, 5,
Run that through again, Kevin.
851-9183-8949.
That's what I have.
Okay, the
That's the
passcode to
That's
that
meeting ID.
is uppercase J, lowercase g, as in George, 6.
That's the passcode.
oh,
Yeah.
passcode?
Okay, are they ready for the passcode?
Start over, Kevin. Yes, they're ready.
Okay, okay, J, uppercase J, lowercase g, 6, H as in Henry, E as in Echo, 2.
The HE is lowercase.
Correct.
Rob, did you go to page 2 and try the link on page 2?
Okay.
I just gave that information to Alex too, to try to get him in. But
he have
nothing's coming up for anybody to come in.
Well, all I know is I started, the app, the Zoom app on my computer, and entered that meeting ID and the passcode, and I got in. Which is different from the invitation link that you usually put up there anyway. This is a direct,
How do we get to input that?
you have to start Zoom on your computer.
Yeah, you got to go to the Zoom app.
Go to, so I'm pretty sure, I mean, she's been working on the computer for years. If she can't do it, I don't, anybody can. Oh, see, now Barry's confused.
That's the other link has the Zoom web interface, the invitation link, which is normally what we use, that Sandy sends out.
So
I did
not the
not.
web interface.
Correct, not the web interface. Zoom
I'm
used to,
waiting here, Barry is.
Zoom
saying
used to save us
it's
time.
gonna
Now
go
it's kind of-
drive up.
It'll only take them 10 minutes
Barry,
to get.
get in car.
Doesn't do any good if the applicant doesn't show up though.
Yeah.
Two pages on
Oh, you'd have to ask Bill for that. He asked for that.
it. I know,
Oh,
I'm waiting here.
I mean, I don't even know what I'm telling you, because this is all gibberish to me. I don't know what interfaces are. I can make nice pies, though.
That's what counts. I'll take that over this anyway.
That's more important.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't know what to tell you.
I guess on the bright side, this is the first
I
time we've
can't
had
get in.
any kind of real problem with Zoom, right?
Is that
Yeah.
Barry says if he can't
Yeah.
get in, he'll complain tomorrow. I followed the link right on the town website. Is that what he's supposed to be doing, following the link?
Yes, that's what he's supposed to be doing.
He said,
Did he get the PDF?
I don't know, he just said if I can't get in, lawyer can't get in either. Jesus. I don't know.
I'm gonna try opening that one that's on the website, which is different from, I think.
Hey, Kevin.
Because there's 4
Yes?
or 5 people right
The
there.
one I have for signing in is 838-5934-8308.
Okay, so I used the one that ends, okay, and then I brought a second session, and
Who's
it worked fine.
MMS?
Okay.
I have no idea.
I don't know what MMS means. BM is Barry.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, this is all from Barry, so where'd Rachel go?
She's sitting there waiting.
Maybe it'll be going on in Greek, I don't know. That's why I came, because I knew I would get,
Yeah,
she sent me all the information on how to get on Zoom, and I'm like, yeah.
yeah. She's not on.
Right.
No, but she sent me the format or whatever, the link, the little picture.
Normally you just click on the link and you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so,
See, so I just.
Oh, it's you. And you're in.
Yep. So that works. That information works. Go to zoom.com or download the app and then put in that information and you get in.
There you go.
Mark just got on. Here comes Alex.
And
Download the app.
download the,
There must be an app.
Yeah, there is a Zoom app. That's what it is.
Yep. It took about a minute to do all that.
go to Zoom, then download the app.
You could go to,
Play
whatever.
Store or?
What?
If it's on a computer, you can go to zoom.com.
Just entering those.
Most likely Barry's on a computer.
Yep.
If he's in his house, he's not
Yes.
on a phone
No. Because he works on computers.
all day long.
Go to Zoom. Then what do I do?
So what's going on? What's
I
the
got the live
situation?
stream, Barry seems to.
We, there are a number of people that can't get on, including the applicant.
And the lawyer.
Yeah, do we know why, for some reason, there's a different meeting that was started other than the one that was
Yeah,
on the
it
Zoom
was-
link?
Well, probably not, because Mark just used everything that was on the paper and got right on his phone.
So he says, I can see, but he says, so I can see, but I'm not present, so can't talk. So I guess he can see this, but he can't get on.
You shouldn't be able to see unless they let him in.
Right.
Right.
No, this is Barry. This is not her.
Yeah, I know, but
Giving up on her.
he shouldn't be able to see anything if Sandy hasn't let him in. Admitted him to the meeting.
And there's nobody waiting to get in.
Yeah.
Yes, well, they're,
Well,
Well, they're not showing
Yeah.
up
Right,
waiting
right,
to
right,
get
right,
in, I
right,
should
sorry.
say.
you're talking to.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah, I'm not seeing on the website, I am not seeing the, this meeting
It's on the agenda.
of where, but where is that on the website then? 'Cause I go to government,
Yeah.
planning board agendas, and I come up with June 8th is the last one on there.
If you just go to the planning board page, it's under 2022, you just click October, and that takes you to a PDF of the agenda.
Right, but you gotta go to the planning board page first, not to, see, if somebody's using the menu, the linking must be off, not correct, because it goes to a different, it goes to a
I'm sorry?
planning board agendas page.
Who?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure, I'm
Alex?
just going off of whatever the agenda said.
year and a half, 2 years?
So he said.
Yeah, that's the issue, there's another page out there that's wrong.
Someone's on.
So if they're
Is that
going
you?
to the wrong place, if
Somebody's
they're using
there.
the main menu, they're gonna end up in the wrong place. If they don't go directly to the planning board page first.
Then go to October.
Aaron, I can't see what it says.
I'm gonna start putting the link to the agenda right with the meeting on the calendar, like what Sue's been doing. I just noticed that the other day.
Right, but you need to remove that
That's
page.
Barry's living room.
Is it Barry's living?
I'm pretty sure that's his fireplace.
Yeah, it's not his dog though. He's
Can I
got,
see
he's
that?
got
Oh my
two shepherds, that's a black dog.
That's Barry's living room, he might have company.
Is Edith
Okay,
with Barry?
Barry,
It's not coming up Barry, it's coming up Edith.
coming up, Peter?
Edith.
Oh, Edith Titleist.
Right.
if you go
From
to
Edith Titleist.
the planning board page and click on
Titleist to
October,
everyone, yes.
you'll be fine, you'll come up with the right thing. If you click on agenda, you won't.
Yeah, so basically, what it looks like is the link on the agenda is incorrect, but
Right.
the
Yeah.
passcode and the meeting ID are correct.
If you click on October, under 2022,
Can we-
Yeah.
that page,
can
that
we have
works.
the lawyer just
Yeah.
call on the
But the link itself does not
You have to
work.
ask them.
right.
Can I have the lawyer that Barry hired call my number so that I've got, I've
think-
got the lawyer here?
Doesn't do any good unless the applicant shows up. So the applicant can't get in either.
And who's the applicant? Is it Barry?
No, Port Harbor.
Oh, they can't get in either?
No.
Oh, God.
On that PDF, Alex, I clicked on that and that brings you to the right place.
It wasn't working for me.
Seems like if it's been advertised incorrectly, you can't really, because
You can't
you're not,
proceed, yeah.
No.
there's gonna be other people that can't
Yep.
get in,
Oh, yeah.
potentially. they
I
can't
mean,
get in.
that's kind of where I'm headed with this year. We've got two very controversial applications where I've been getting calls all week from people, and I wouldn't be comfortable moving forward with this this issue. 'Cause I know there's people who can't get in, and it's going to be a problem.
What is the other one?
Both the Starrett application and Port Harbor Marine, I've been getting calls on all week, or for
Oh.
weeks, really.
Okay.
His lawyer can't get in either.
So then somebody said go to zoom.com. You wanna play?
No.
If you give for that, if you use the
At least
information I
I'm honest
provided,
about it.
it will be okay, but everybody can't do that because they have to be listening some other way to do it.
Right.
Yeah, if they're watching on the YouTube stream right now, maybe they might be able to get that, but
Right.
who knows?
Type in codes.
Didn't I already get the codes?
I thought you did.
I mean,
Let him back up in his emails. You did give him
Well, I
codes.
don't know if I gave it to him
This meeting's supposed to be open to the public, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we have no idea how many people out there trying to get in.
85,
Oh,
Right.
no.
1918.
you really have to reschedule it.
Yeah.
1918.
Sandy, can you get the announcement into the papers again for the next meeting?
For the next meeting, absolutely.
Okay.
Excuse me, guys.
Who's talking?
I'm Edith at Tattles, and I got in because I had to go to zoom.com directly, and then I had to type in the passcodes separately.
Right.
But I could not use the link on the PDF. That did not work, but I went to zoom.com and then typed in the passcode and the meeting code, and then I was able to get in.
That's what this gentleman said over here.
Yeah. But there's too many that are not going to be able to, that we don't know about.
So you're gonna push it to your next
Yeah.
regular meeting?
Next regular meeting.
You're not gonna hold a separate one?
Well, because we can't get the announcement out.
Oh, yeah, we need a whole month, right?
Yeah.
practically.
Well, hey, Sandy, when's the first you can get it into the paper?
Well, that's not the only problem, Bob. We have to have a date and make sure that everything else is ready. If we're gonna just put it to November, I can send it out next week to get it in.
Oh, you're right, but then we got to find, yep. Because we wouldn't have
The
the,
link doesn't work, is that what I should say?
okay.
Go to zoom.com. Type in codes, link doesn't work.
Ma'am, we're gonna, no, just don't worry about it. We're just going to
Reschedule?
reschedule.
He's,
Tell Rob not to worry about it.
Yeah, we're gonna reschedule. They're gonna reschedule.
all right.
Okay, so I am moving on from old business, the public hearing, site plan review for Jordan Bay Marina, Port Harbor Marine, and under new business, first item, the public hearing and the review of the commercial use of the RR zone for the Nicole Sterrett application to our next meeting. And,
Do you need a motion or?
no, I don't need a motion.
Okay.
Do you want to do the sketch plan?
Yes,
So
yeah.
now Rachel's in.
And we are going to pick up with the agenda with the sketch plan review.
Don't need me anymore.
Thanks, Phil.
Thanks.
Still beat me home.
Hopefully next month we'll get it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
It was a nice evening drive.
Sorry.
It's okay, I think we're all in this.
First on the agenda.
Yeah. You moved up quick.
We're all in
You
this,
need a hand?
we're all in this boat together when it does the computer crap. Okay, now everybody's gonna be doing this thing all
Have a good evening.
Thank you. All right, well, that cleans up the agenda quickly.
So is this the planning board meeting? Because the link that you gave doesn't work for the Zoom. Am I in the right place? Code enforcement?
Well, you are in the right place, but there are so many people that could not get in that we've just postponed it to the next meeting. But we couldn't even get the applicant in. We don't know what's going on.
So might as well do introductions while I'm here. I'm Sally Cheever. I might have emailed some of you people, but I haven't received a response for any of the emails. I'm the abutter to the Starretts.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
Yeah, has also been postponed, but are you asking about
No,
who you emailed?
no, I know who I emailed.
Who did you email?
I emailed the town manager, Alex, and then the secretary a couple of times.
Just to ask questions?
No, it started probably a year and a half ago to complain about the starets, but yes, so we've been then sending. So my problem is this is kind of like systemic for me at this point because I don't get any responses back to my emails until I lodged an official complaint on the website. And then to have this happen with, okay, I wasn't given enough notice that we were having this meeting with the planning board and then not to get in to the meeting. So it's just kind of like suspect.
Rolling problems.
Yeah, so I want to introduce myself and I do have an issue with this.
Yeah, we're just not, unfortunately, we're not taking any comment.
Oh, I'm aware.
Yeah.
I'm very aware.
But please, stop by the town. If you're not getting your email, stop by the town. This will be postponed till next month?
Next month's meeting.
Next month.
Okay, so in the meantime, they're actually operating over there, and that's the problem that I have. They've had notice of violations since October of 2020, and nothing is being enforced. So this is another month that we're pushing it out.
But that's not a planning board function, unfortunately, what you're asking. That's the town.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are going to look at the ordinances that are directly related to the project, but we don't get into the enforcement part.
Yeah, so it shouldn't actually come before the planning board because they don't actually, the last notice about violation says they don't have the approval to operate out of that.
Okay, but I cannot discuss the project with you outside of their applicant meeting, and we don't postpone that.
Yeah.
So if you have problems, that's,
we have problems.
Run across the street.
Yeah, you don't have problems with the planning board, you have problems with the town.
The thing is, we shouldn't have to physically go there with having communicated with them, but I mean, if that's what it takes, that's what we'll do.
You might, probably the best thing to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And you should know there's a history of people saying that there are no complaints about the starets when there actually are complaints about the starets.
But that's for next meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
Glad we came so much.
You're up, Bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Bill Thompson, project manager with BH2M Engineers in Gorham. I'm here for Diane Potvin, and basically it's a sketch plan to get some direction. It's a little bit unique in the history of this piece, and so before we go too far into anything, I wanted to get comments and outline a little bit about what has happened out here. Diane Potvin took responsibility of this property. That's the way the divorce decree read, on December 1st, 2020, of a 28-acre parcel, and that is including the eastern, what's it called, Eastern Painted Turtle Road that comes down through her property, and the 28 acres drops down below it, as you see in the outline. That road was approved as part of a subdivision down here for a Dan Franzoni. I guess it was Dependable Builders back in 2007, and then in 2009 it was amended to adjust some buffers down here. But at that time, Mr. Franzoni constructed this road primarily over an existing right-of-way, but he did make some changes with an agreement with the landowners, and built a private road 22 feet wide that now serves 4 lots down here on the end. And that road is constructed to a standard that would support what Diane is proposing here on her parcel. So there's no new road construction needed. She has made some transactions out here. The first lot on the left out at the Raymond Cape Road, that was sold to a William Cutler in September of 2021. And then named Trinwald, the 4th lot in, if you will, was sold in April of 2022. She has a lot in the center she wants to keep as a family lot. She has gifted this lot here to her daughter, and then this lot does not have any direction or planning, if you will, at this point in time. So we're really trying to determine what do we need to do as part of a subdivision approval. None of the lots have had septic test pits other than the 2 that were sold. So I'm assuming we'd have to prove that the lots has suitable soil. I don't see what the need would be for any additional stormwater design, because primarily that was in the function of the building the road. We have turnouts and buffers and vegetative soil filters in connection with that road. So all that'll happen on each lot at the given time when it's approved is a house, a well, septic, and driveway. So I'd like to get, again, some feedback from the board on just what we need and what lots are included, and so we come back and, you know, properly identify for a subdivision through the preliminary and final. We did get a memo from the fire inspector, pretty straightforward, with the length of road exceeds 1,000 feet, which was amended in 2021, that ordinance. So we will have to provide an additional turnaround for the fire safety component. The proposed houses will include sprinkler systems, and will get involved with the road maintenance agreement. You know, Diane owns this strip. Everyone has an easement across it, but it was part of her 28-acre parcel. So I've got to see what's in place now with the 4 lots down at the end as far as a road maintenance agreement, and then include the lots up front. And we also got a memo from Jim at Sebago Technics, and pretty straightforward with what you require for sketch plan. There's some soil info and so forth, which I didn't include because to me this was a little unique. We did the survey. We created this division that you see here based on Diane's direction on lot sizes. They all have adequate frontage and lot area to qualify for lots. So I guess, you know, in Jim's memo, you know, wetlands were not included for the lots. You know, we'll have to take a look at that. Vernal pools, again, soils information for suitable wastewater disposal, and then sure we'll have to come up with a name for the subdivision so it'll all be identified for approval. And of course the road is named, so we don't need to deal with anything on that. So I guess what I'd ask is, through Jim and through the chair, where do we need to go to make this complete? Thank you.
Bill, do I understand that the road then, after on the last lot that you have on here, there's 4 lots?
Correct.
That sit out there?
Yeah.
Okay. And the road is to the standards for, now it would be a major subdivision?
The road
if it's all taken,
built 16 feet wide with 3-foot shoulders. So we've got 22 feet of travel surface, which I think is for the private road.
22. Is that
A private street which will serve 4 to 10 residents will have a minimum travelway of 16 feet with 2 3-foot shoulders.
So that's it.
So that would be 22 feet
Correct.
overall.
Yep.
They did a nice job. I was pretty pleased with when they built that road. They spared no expense.
So was the specialty finance for that subdivision?
That's the name it's under now. It was I think it was Dependable Builders Inc. in 2007 or 6. It was approved and then amended in 2009.
And the property that is being developed now was obviously not part of that property?
That's correct.
Yeah. So this is a right-of-way through here to their
Correct.
property?
And they had an easement to build and access.
Good, Jim.
One question I have is, okay, so the Eastern Painted Turtle Road provided access to what is now Specialty Finance. I assume Diane Potvin retained rights to utilize that road?
Yes, she's still.
And to further, or did that include further divisions of property?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Alex, you might want to chime in here. Does Diane physically live on
this
any of
piece?
these
No.
parcels?
No.
So, Alex, can she deed family members to exclude subdivision then?
so normally she would be able to convey a lot, under state subdivision law to a family member, and it would be exempt. However, there was an issue with a subdivision violation coming about prior to the division to her daughter.
Okay.
So that lot that she conveyed to her daughter actually is part of an illegal subdivision, illegally created subdivision. So it normally would be exempt, and it probably in this case could still be exempt, I suppose. But now she's creating a subdivision. So typically anytime, through the subdivision ordinance, anytime you further, divide lots within a subdivision, you're required to get subdivision approval. So at this point, it just makes sense to call it part of the subdivision, I think.
Okay.
If that made any sense.
It's clear as mud.
So how many lots are we considering?
So I think with that, you have 1, 2, 3, right?
4. It's a 4-lot subdivision if you're going to include all of them.
Right, because the Cutler is gone, right?
Right.
So you'd have the first Diane Potvin, the proposed family member, the Trinwood,
Right.
and the Potvin, so it's 4. So it's still a minor.
Yeah.
Still a minor subdivision.
So the lot to the south of the road is the 4th lot?
Yes.
Okay.
The trail that runs through lot 3, for a better term, is that just a walking trail, snowmobile
Yes.
trail, or?
Yeah, just a walking trail.
It's not connected to the trail system?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so if I can go quickly through my memo here, you touched on everything. I just went through what was required for sketch. I understand what you're saying about the lots as far as stormwater goes, because typically if you're a development, you're only looking at the road for stormwater purposes. I guess where we are in the shoreline zone, it would be ideal if we had some kind of assessment though as to the clearing on each lot. Is there a limitation for phosphorus concerns? Is it 12,000 or 10,000 or 15,000? What is there going to be some kind of assessment for the lot clearing so we can have a better sense of magnitude?
So you're looking at some background.
But we definitely would have
for
to have at least
phosphorus.
minimum erosion control for the individual
Right,
lots.
okay.
You know, something of that nature.
And the
But
phosphorus,
yeah, I think it's just a question of, and that may be just a statement that they're gonna limit clearing to, a certain amount, because we just don't
she's
want
not gonna build houses, she's just gonna sell
She's
lots
just
or
gonna sell.
give them to her family, and they're gonna build a house. so.
Yeah, it's
So
in the
then we
shoreline
definitely
zone,
would-
Alex, so what can we, is there a limitation on clearing, percentage of the lot?
Yep. Yep. Shoreland zone,
Is it 20?
beyond 100 feet, you can only clear 40% of the lot area, or 10,000 square feet, whichever is greater.
Greater.
Okay.
So we just need a note or something of that effect, Bill, discussing that. We will want to see an erosion control plan, obviously, for the individual lots.
It's no, I think it's 40.
But also remember, we have the 25% lot clearing.
It's 20%. I thought it was 20%.
It's 20%.
Alex, what was your number?
I thought it was.
25, I believe.
For a clearing limit?
Yep, 25.
Yeah.
So that 40% didn't play out.
It sounded kind of high when he said it. It did sound high to me,
Yeah, I'm
too.
like 40.
That's fine, yeah, I just wanna have the right numbers,
Yep.
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's so you can. It's a little confusing, of course. You can go over 25% with approval by the planning board.
Right.
So
Okay,
you might be able to go up to 40% or 10,000 square
But
feet
we'd
if you
wanna
want to
see
lump
it.
that in.
sure, okay. Because the lots are big, so they're
Yeah.
not just
Yeah, these lots are
minimum lot.
4 acres.
Yeah, they're 4, 5, and 6 acres.
Yeah, so I mean, again, the ideal thing would be try to keep the building envelopes reduced for phosphorus impacts.
Sure.
For assessment of the road, this is a private road, correct?
Correct.
And have you done any, I mean, Alex, I don't know, is there anything in the folder where it was inspected or anything previously? Do you know?
Yes, I believe it was.
Okay.
And I believe it was, I want to say it was Stantec that
Yep.
did that. I have it somewhere.
Okay. So as long as that road was built to standards, and I don't think we have any real issue.
Nope.
I would want to know just how you're pulling off utilities.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Is this, I didn't see any poles, so does this have overhead or is this
I
underground?
believe it's underground to serve the four
Okay.
lots of the.
So will you be
Electricity's in
Will you
place.
have to be the transformers are there for you to pull
Yes.
off of?
Yep.
Okay. Will you just show us those
Yep,
locations?
I want to make sure we have a suitable.
And then, obviously you'll have to be part of a homeowners association.
Yep.
I mentioned future connectivity because when I looked at this, I saw that there was this weird, I guess it's on the other parcel, not yours though.
Yeah, this will just connect to the previously approved 4 lots, and then that's the end. You're at a private development
Okay.
that wanted no part of us.
So how long, so we're gonna need if this was stopping, wouldn't Wayne want a hammerhead in here someplace?
Correct, yeah. When we're at 1,000 feet or some convenient,
Right.
no greater than
Yeah.
1,000 or less, we
Yeah.
find a convenient
You'll find a spot? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, there may be, location.
it'll be on one of Diane's lots with
Yeah,
a
exactly.
an easement. Yeah.
And there is a memo, which I did receive.
I have a spec from the fire chief. Yeah,
Okay. There is a separate memo from the fire department, which you should
Yep, I got it.
receive, so
Yep.
address those comments
The
as well.
fire
but-
inspector, yeah, very clear.
I mean, really, it's really the septic systems and the wells that we'll need to see on the individual lots.
Yep.
And then erosion control plan.
Show well zones and
Yep.
that all work.
Alex, do you have any other?
No, I don't. I think this should solve the issues. The only thing that you guys may want to consider, and this was an attorney's suggestion, since this subdivision affects all of the lots that were originally a part of it, it may be worth showing every single one of those lots on a combined plan, but actually keep the subdivisions separate. Like, for example, the Clark subdivision would be separate from this subdivision. But there should probably be something, either a note or have all the lots shown to make it clear that each of these subdivisions, while they were all coming from one lot originally, are now all separate.
Would that overall, call it an overall subdivision plan, would that be recorded as well?
It's more of a
It
lotting
would
plan.
probably, yeah, it would need to be either part of this or a note on this subdivision plan or something. Because this parcel comes from one gigantic parcel that the Brandon Chase subdivision, the Steve Clark subdivision, and now this subdivision are all coming from. So they're all separate, but they all came from one parcel originally. So it was the attorney's suggestion that we somehow include some information about that so that it's not confusing and it's clear that they're all separate.
So it's kind of a chicken egg thing here, right? So the first one in is really the first one that has to kind of pull an overall subdivision plan together, then everybody else can feed off that as we go down the line. So you've got two.
Yeah, I've got 2 of them, and then the I don't know what was the third project.
The Chase,
I
Brandon
don't know where
Chase,
that
and that
is.
was just stopped.
And
at this
that
point.
one, yeah, that one hasn't been approved or anything. So really that just needs to show up as one lot at this point.
Okay.
And it can be, you have all the information, so I think it would be easy for you to show all of the lots. Or at least for this one, show Steve Clark says a single lot, or
Right.
wherever you think it would make sense to do it.
That's why I was
but-
saying it depends on the order of which we approve these. So if Steve Clark gets approved first, then they would have to show this one and the one to the north. If you go first, you got to show the next 2 to the north. So it's one of them has to show the overall.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. We could do an overall, and I'll call it a lotting plan from the original subject parcel or the mother parcel. And just not a lot of detail, but I'll label the lots and the sizes or whatever.
Right.
I don't want to get into a full blown.
Yeah, and then neither one of them are approved, so they're just 2 big lots at this point.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and a note maybe or something saying, that they are separate. Like
Right.
that lot
Okay.
is not part of this.
Right.
this-
Any further development will require an individual subdivision plan
Okay.
moving forward. For the
And
other.
we'll need a name for this subdivision for town
Yes.
records. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if Eastern Painted Turtle subdivision is taken, but.
I'm not sure what the one
don't
at the
either.
end was named. It may be that, because that name, it
I
goes
believe
away.
it is.
Yeah, it goes away after
It's a
time.
mouthful for a road.
Yeah, yeah, I know it. That's a long street sign.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, we can do that.
Blanded turtle. Other than eventually if you have a turnaround, obviously you'll need to include that in the right of way, and we'll just need to make sure that the depths and everything match up with that.
Yep.
So we'll just need a detail of that, where it's going.
Yep.
Board, do you have any other concerns at this point?
No?
I think we just get an opportunity to finally maybe, as Alex said, get all these
Yeah.
corralled, corrected.
Mike? I don't know where Kevin, I can't see you, but I assume you're still there?
I am here.
You okay? Yeah, there you are.
I'm fine.
Okay.
Okay, we'll see which
Okay.
one comes back first.
Yeah, so, but Bill, before you do go, I just want to make sure that some information I gave is correct.
Okay.
Is it the Clark that we just did the site walk on?
Yes.
Correct.
So Clark went from 4 to 5.
Correct.
5 is eligible for open space?
5 would be eligible, I believe, yeah, because it's a major subdivision, so. it
Right,
would be-
to be eligible for open space?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I forgot the name of your representative that was there.
That was Austin Fagan. one of the
Okay, so
engineers. Yeah.
I relayed that to Austin.
Okay.
And while we have the board here, not official vote, but you are, if you choose to go that way, you're supposed to supply us with both a open space and a conventional layout.
Okay. We're
but I
meeting
can-
on that tomorrow, so I'll know.
Okay,
Which way
so
wants to
I
go.
can tell you that in the past, we have been more than willing to waive that requirement for the conventional if you're going open space,
Okay.
if you were to ask for it. And if you are thinking that way, I'd be happy to poll the board to let you know which way that would go, but I can't do an official vote.
Okay, so right now, it's a conventional subdivision.
Correct.
With
5 lots.
Right, 5 lots. The open space subdivision, what does that entail?
That would allow you to reduce
Oh, okay.
since
Sure.
that,
Yep.
there's a
I
huge
follow you.
big.
It's like a cluster.
Yes,
Plus,
Exactly.
exactly.
different
You
name
you
for it.
get
Okay.
smaller
All
lots,
right.
maybe more
Yeah.
lots,
Yeah.
less road frontage,
Yeah.
things like that.
Okay.
And that property lends itself fairly nicely to that because you have that big back lot there,
Could be the open space.
would be the open space,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, we'll iron that out and be ready.
Okay,
I'm not sure which, I think he wants to just do the conventional. The last lot out there will be lot 5
right.
that he'll probably build on.
Yeah, yeah, he could still do that, but
Yeah,
that's,
correct.
right.
Correct, yeah,
Okay,
okay. Good. I'm good.
okay. All right.
Okay, thanks for your time. Thank you. Thanks for moving me up in the agenda.
Yeah, you didn't have anything to do with that, did you, Bill?
Now we know. Wanted to get on quick, right? Smart.
Your IT.
All right, discussion regarding ordinance amendments for June. Do we have any discussion for ordinance amendments?
Yeah, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on that. So I'm working with the town clerk right now on setting up a special town meeting for January to adopt all of the amendments in the new codified land use and shoreline zoning provisions this winter, so we can do that in January. That way, we don't have to wait till June. It's all done and ready to go. I have the final draft. That would include amendments from June, so we would be up to date on both the land use and shoreline zoning provisions. Sounds like that's going to work out. So what I'm going to do for amendments for this year, I'm actually going to use that Word document for our amendments because that will, it's an entirely new format. There's a new table of contents and everything. So we're going to use that for this year just to get us ahead because that's going to likely go into effect in January. As far as amendments goes, I looked through my list today. I've got about 4 things and it's mostly just cleanup. a few items that DEP had pointed out to us this summer when we sent them our current ordinance for acceptance. And then just two other little items that the attorneys pointed out that he thinks we could clean up. So I don't have a lot. I don't know if you guys, I know there was a couple of little things that were thrown around, but I don't know if you guys have anything big that you want to tackle that we should start looking at now. Otherwise, it looks like it's going to be a much easier year for us than it has the last couple.
So Alex, but to get to the January 23 special town meeting, don't we need the run up to that, and this is October.
Yes, so we would be trying to do that likely next month.
Okay.
Yeah, you just get basically
and
what
then-
they codified.
And then it goes to the select board for a public hearing to create a warrant. And then they would do a vote on that likely in January. But it could all get kicked back a month too. As soon as possible would be great. You know, if it doesn't make it by March, then I would probably say, okay, let's just wait till June. But we're sitting on it. Our ordinances out there on the internet are not up to date, and it bothers me daily. So I'm really pushing to try and get this, live as quickly as possible. So that's kind of the big thing.
So we would need a public hearing on this in November,
Yes.
which means we have to advertise it very soon.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Sounds like he's all set though.
Yeah, and we're,
So mostly.
The only, so going forward with new ordinances,
yeah.
do you folks have anything that's, building up inside that you gotta get out? The only one I have, and Alex, maybe you've chimed in on this, is, where is the town, because I know other communities are starting to adopt the ADU.
That's what I was gonna ask too, where that stood.
Yeah, so our town attorney, Phil Saucier, is actually working at the state on this particular item. And the direction I've received from him was don't do anything until July. He was very vague, but the direction was there's a strong possibility this is going to change quite a bit before next July. And he didn't want to see the town waste any time or money on something until things were finalized. So that's the guidance I got. He said we would check back in on it. Probably before the next meeting, I'll get an update from him on that. He was going to let me know if he thought it would make sense for us to try and put anything in the ordinance for June. But it didn't sound like he was expecting us to have to change anything.
Okay. Well, so back to this November meeting here. Are we anticipating any issues?
For the public hearing?
Yep.
No, because it's all ordinance amendments that have already been approved by the town. It's just
format.
they've taken both the land use and the shoreline zoning provisions and they put it in one document, and they have slightly tweaked the formatting. Like instead of an A1.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I misunderstood. Okay.
Yeah.
It
They
might
just
be
took the old
1B.
ordinances, they codified them, they've reformatted them so that they're easier for referencing for
Okay.
them in the future. But
That sounds
and I
good.
think, Alex, in the future, we have to go back through them, right, to amend the physical ordinance?
Yeah, so the way it would work now is after town meeting every year, we send them all of our updates and they incorporate it into the ordinance for us. And there's an annual fee that we pay for the subscription in general. And the actual amendments are a very, very small fee because it's usually just minor changes. Now, if we were deciding to, for example, to amend the entire subdivision ordinance, that's a separate document. We're still responsible for updating that, as are like the street ordinance and all of our other ordinances. If we decide to bring them into this, codified ordinance document, which is the long-term plan, then that would probably cost more down the road. But right now, these two, any amendments to these, we do send to this company that they review them and insert them into the document for us.
And I think you also told me, Alex, too, that they went back into all the records and looked at everything. Even there might have been some things that may not have been impressed that had been approved before. So they went back to all the selectmen records to find
Two of the errors on my list for this year are things, pretty big ones that they found. I think, Jim, one of them I had sent you, it's a reference to a section that doesn't exist.
Exactly.
I think it's the open space standards.
Yeah.
So, they went through it all. We did add on a legal analysis of both documents, which is going to help us clean up some of the issues that exist out there.
So other than the ADU, the only other thing that I had on the top of my head, just because I remember getting it from Wayne, is Wayne has made, they've got their fire protection ordinance, but they've made some requests typically on their reviews that we really don't have exactly in our ordinance. So I don't know if we need to streamline what they need to be in our ordinance or whether we put that in the fire protection, but it's got to sync.
It's a good idea.
So that may be one we just want to take a look at.
Can we, or we can just simply reference what?
Well, I think we just got to make sure they're requesting things that we don't have necessarily in like our street standards.
Right.
So do we want to conform the fire standards to the street standards or vice versa, or at times, I don't know.
But they reference some
NFPA code, which
right.
is not what our code is referencing. So I don't know whether we want to sync to that, because some of them are pretty dramatic.
I know. Where did our stuff come from?
Which ones? The street stuff?
Yeah.
It's just been historical street standards, I think, that have been just modified over time.
So they don't come from they just from a...
I think if you go across most of the towns, that's pretty much a standard practice for most of the roads, as far as depths and widths and things like that from public safety standpoints.
And there may have been a GP cog thing originally or something.
And where did the fire department stuff come from?
NFPA, the national code.
But there is no national code that we are using for our
right.
standards.
That's what I'm saying. So we've got two different codes that could compete against each other. So do we want to sync? How do we want to sync these together? Is bottom line.
Right.
I think we just want to be careful and look at exactly what we're doing before just blanket statement saying, yeah, we'll just adopt NFPA, because it may totally go against some of the other work we've done.
Yep.
So my goal for next month, other than doing the public hearing for the codified ordinance, would be to bring you guys a list for a workshop, maybe at the end of next meeting. And I don't know that I'll have specific amendment language. I might have a couple, and then just the entire list that I have that we can add to if you guys want to add anything. But that's my plan for now, at least.
Okay. We depending upon that list that you're coming up with for the workshop, we may want to just schedule a workshop, because next meeting is going to get kind of long.
Based on what I have, I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Okay.
For what I have, unless there's stuff that you guys want to add on. Everything that I've got is going to be a quick, easy change.
Okay.
Promises.
It better be, or else. Or else.
Do we have any new applicants potentially for the next meeting? You're on mute.
No, I was asking my son to stop screaming.
He's watching this. He's the one attendee that got in. Do you have any other applications that you're expecting for the next meeting?
I don't know where the Clark application is at. If that's coming back next month, I'm assuming it is. But new, I don't know of any new.
Okay.
No, I think Bill just said Clark is meeting tomorrow, so I don't think they're bringing anything.
Doesn't sound like they had
Right. It would have had it been in today.
Yeah.
If it didn't, I'll find
So
it
we're
on
just
my
have returning
desk in the morning.
basically items. You have 2 items in for the next meeting, essentially.
Both public hearings.
Both public hearings.
Yep.
and then your ordinance.
which both sound like gonna be fun.
Yeah. Yes, now they do.
All right. Do you have anything else, Alex?
I do not have anything else, no.
Staff communication updates. Do we have anything? Do you have anything?
I have nothing new.
Item 7 is next then.
Is this appropriate for me to ask about an item I'd like to see changed?
Oh, yeah, yes. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I would really love to see us, as a board, be required, or the town to be required to notify subdivision owners of any potential amendment within that subdivision. I know you mentioned you didn't want to get saddled with that, but I just went to a meeting yesterday, and I know that people in that subdivision regarding the...
Oh, yeah,
The Daigle one?
If they don't get noticed, they're going to be really upset. So we had a preliminary vote as to whether or not people would be comfortable with that subdivision, and there's quite a bit of energy there, both negative and positive. So, and I've been thinking about ways to sort of limit or curtail having to notify in each situation.
Yep.
But I can't figure out how to do that, because I think that in any subdivision, even if it's just one lot, and we say, well, it's just one lot, so it's only going to impact, surrounding, that's not true according to what I'm seeing. I mean, people way down the street are going, no, we don't want that, or we're okay with it. So I think we really ought to be required as a town to make sure people get notified. And in this ordinance, we don't have to.
Right.
Yeah, you could do something under any amendment for a subdivision. The previous subdivided lots would be, the owners of those subdivided would be included in the notification. I mean, it could be that simple.
That's simple. That's a, did I did not want to do that?
You said you didn't want to get trapped with doing it to every single...
Oh, subdivision.
Right.
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 Because some of it might just be a very minor.
And I'm also thinking it doesn't happen that often, so I don't think it'd be that big of a burden on the town to have to notify people.
Well, that expense would go to the individual.
The applicant. Expense goes to the applicant.
So it doesn't, it's no
great.
cost to the town.
Okay, cool. So anyway, something to think about.
Yeah, because I do agree with you on certain cases, it's where it should be done. But I'm wondering, since the expense, we always like to keep the expense of the applications down. If someone's doing something that is really no big impact, do they have to have, because some of our subdivisions are rather large.
But typically, anything that comes back for an amendment, it's usually a change to an easement or a property line.
Yeah.
Anything else doesn't come back. It's only when they change property lines.
That's true, or it doesn't.
Or contents, or like a drainage easement, or something of that effect. If they alter that, they got to come back. That's state statute. So I mean, if they're changing lot lines, and it's just between two lot owners, I can't imagine the whole development's going to get too upset by two lot owners agreeing to split a line. But if they're trying to split a lot within a subdivision and another lot, obviously that opens up Armageddon.
Yeah. So, and in which case, I would think the subdivision...
Which is rightful.
Right, the subdivision should get notified.
Right, because if it's a private road, they got to come into the road association, and there's damages by construction, and so on and so forth.
There's costs. So is there a way that we can break that out so that we are not notifying?
I just think that anything has to your point, I mean, if it has to come in for a subdivision amendment, then they're changing something on that lot, or on a lot, or multiple lots. So it's a property line or something like that. I don't know if we want to get that specific, because I think you just notify everybody, and if it's a lot line between neighbors, then it will pan itself out and it'll be meaningless, but at least everybody's notified.
Okay.
So I'm just curious.
That's my opinion.
I feel
usually those are benign and no one cares.
Right.
But if you're splitting a lot that's in approved subdivision,
that's a big deal.
I don't know how you define between the two.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So how much would that increase application fee?
Depends on the size of the subdivision.
Well, say it's. I mean, how does it? What's the cost incurred? Like.
There's an application fee, and then there would be a notification fee, and a butters notification fee. That's all through Sandy.
But I mean, would the town charge per notification?
How do you guys? Yes, I believe
it's
they
like
do that now.
$150 or something.
Why so much?
It's got to be certified, right? No.
No, I don't think it has to be certified.
How is that done?
Even if it's certified, why is it 150 per?
Well, I mean, that would be for, a relatively large
Oh,
subdivision.
you mean total?
Yeah, that's right, total,
Yeah.
yeah.
They-
Screw it, I mean, when you look at all the other costs.
Hold on,
the guy's
Sandy's
gonna
speaking,
have,
hold on,
that's
Sandy's gonna
not
answer us
much.
for us. Go ahead, Sandy.
For the notifications that get mailed to what we always were the abutters.
Right.
Even if you're gonna make it the whole subdivision, we charge them $8 per because
Oh,
that takes
that's
into account the time it takes us
Okay.
to do it, the printing
Yep.
costs.
But you work cheap, Sandy.
Yeah, that's a good deal,
You work
Sandy.
cheap.
I'm gonna have you do all of my mailing, that's good.
So it's not
Not that big a deal.
if it's a huge subdivision, it might be, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
the bigger the subdivision, the more issues you're gonna have.
Right, it is what it is.
All right, let's do it.
Fine.
Okay,
So we'll,
We'll put it on the list.
okay.
great, thanks.
Is that thing still going, percolating to subdivide?
I'm not sure. Because I recused myself, I don't really want to speak to what happened at the meeting because I don't want to make it look unfair to anyone.
Right.
I think he might come talk to people. He might talk to Jim.
Okay, so it is still percolating?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
The CPEC has had 2 meetings. They're gonna have a 3rd one. The Comprehensive Planning Committee,
Oh,
not CPEC, whatever it is. Just thought I'd let you know.
are they doing anything that's impacting us?
Not yet.
Okay.
They're working on it.
Good,
They're
keep
working
it that
on
way, will you?
a survey that's gonna probably be at the polls in November.
Oh.
Some kind of a simple survey. We had a list of bullet items, so you'll see that.
Okay. Anything else? Anyone want to stay?
No, I think we're good.
Good, good. Then we need a motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second?
Any discussion?
None
You don't
whatsoever.
Motion made. All those in favor? Kevin says yes. Okay, we're done.